You might want to just ask your little kids to go into another room for this. Last Wednesday, Philando Castro and his fiance Diamond Reynolds were pulled over by police, and moments after an officer shot him 4 times, Reynolds began live streaming the aftermath on Facebook. Take a look.
We got pulled over for a busted tail light in the back, and the police he's covered. He killed my boyfriend. He was trying to get out his ID and his wallet out his pocket, and he let the officer know that he had a firearm and he was reaching for his wallet, and the officer just shot him in his arm. We're waiting for a back. I will, sir. No worries. I will.
Told him not to reach for it. I told him to get his hand out.
You told him to get his ID, sir, and his driver's license. Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
Please welcome Diamond Reynolds and her lawyer, Larry Rogers Jr., who's in our audience. Diamond, what were you told about why you and your fiance were pulled over?
A busted tail light was why we were pulled over.
Well, we just saw that video of you when there's your boyfriend lying there and this is all going on, and yet you had the presence of mind to pull out your phone and do this live streaming. I'm in awe of that. What were you thinking? How did you come up with that?
It was really God. I really wanted to make sure that no matter what, my side, his side, our side of the story could be viewed by the people, and they could be the ones to decipher what to take about that.
But I'm curious, what went on in your mind that you thought that you could do this?
It was just to, first stay calm for my daughter.
Yeah.
Any sudden moves I was feeling, any nervousness would have made the police officer strike us. So it was in my best interest and in my daughter's best interest to stay calm. And I'm very in tune to social media, so it was in my best interest as well as my boyfriend's best interest to.
And your daughter.
And my daughter as well. She was. You guys couldn't see that in the video, but she was in the back seat. She was presuming on the floor, but I just wanted the people to know that these incidents do happen and we don't bring them on ourselves. So it was just so that people could be aware of situations like this.
And your daughter's 4 years old.
Yeah, she'll be 5 soon. She's 4.
I want you to be able to set the record straight for everyone. Did anything happen before you started filming Facebook Live that would have justified this officer shooting Phil 4 times?
Absolutely not. There was nothing that would have led to an officer gunning him down. We followed with procedures. We did everything that we was asked to do, and we were only stopped for a headlight or a tail light.
Candace? Back to your daughter. She was in the back seat and she witnessed everything. How is she feeling now? Has she been asking you questions? What have you been talking to her?
She's told me she's had a few. She doesn't call them nightmares. She calls them God dreams, because she says that no matter how many people says that Phil is dead, she believed that he's still alive, and I believe that he's living through her. Ever since birth, I felt like she was an angel, so she says things to me like, Mom, Phil says this, or Mom, Phil says that, or she'll say, Mom, I'm gonna make Phil some soup because that's gonna make him feel better and come back. So just her being so strong and being able to soothe me and me soothe her, I just tell her that, she wants justice as well as myself. She's a very smart little girl, and she's strong, and she cries, but she tells me, Mommy, don't cry. You're going to make me cry. So every time I cry, I try to wipe them as soon as possible, because I know if she sees it, she'll cry. So that's what made me also stay calm, is because of her.
Sounds like you find so much strength within each other.
Absolutely. I would have not been able to do this without her.
Is this, in the town that you live in, is this a surprise to you that something like this would happen?
Absolutely not. And it's not even the town that I live in, it's the world that I live in.
Yes.
So being somewhere where you always feel like you're being pointed out, or you're being stereotyped, or you're being racial profiled, you expect it. So we always do what we're supposed to do so it doesn't cause something so tremendous like this.
And explain to us about the firearm.
What do you guys, I mean,
It was legal.
it was.
And
He was licensed to carry.
Right.
There was never, the officer didn't know it was on him. He was never asked, or were we concealed? We volunteered the information. He was still in a seatbelt. He was having difficulties getting to his license and registration. And then, you know, that's, you know, how it happened.
Larry, I want to just shift over to you for a second. You're representing Diamond. Are you going to be pursuing this, an investigation with the Justice Department? And if so, what do you hope to get out of this?
Well, first and foremost, we want a thorough and truly independent investigation of what happened here. There was a shooting not long before this incident of Jamar Clark in the area, and there's a significant amount of distrust in the investigation that was conducted there, and there's distrust across the country. I live in Chicago, where we've faced our own challenges there, also relating to videos. So we want to make sure that the Department of Justice comes and does an independent, thorough, and complete investigation that we can trust. Also, when you're a civil person like Diamond, the only way you can conduct your own investigation is through civil litigation. So we're going to do the things we need to do to make sure that this is not covered up and that things are properly pursued and vigilantly pursued to make sure justice is served.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thomas Kelly, the lawyer for Officer Yanez, the police officer that shot your fiance, he made this statement. He said Yanez was reacting to the action of the driver. This had nothing to do with race. This had everything to do with the presence of a gun. How do you respond to that?
That's absolutely incorrect. He was so laid back. He was so cooperative. He was very patient. He was himself. He was mellow. His voice didn't raise over a 1. So that's absolutely incorrect.
And also, you're allowed to carry the gun.
Oh, yeah.
So
He had a permit.
he had a permit, and it's an open carry.
But it wasn't
state.
visible as well.
So he says, I'm carrying a gun, which is the law. The NRA loves that.
In Minnesota, it's
You
an
have to
open
tell-
carry jurisdiction.
Yeah.
But
So
you made the police officer aware,
You have to.
right? And
If-
so he did what he was supposed to do.
Did
Follow
what
the
he
rules.
was supposed to
Tell
do.
everyone what you would like them to know about Philando.
I would like everyone to know that he was very sincere. He was loving. He accepted everyone. He worked in a school for well over 15 years and knew over 200 kids by name. He would never bring harm to myself, my daughter, or anyone around him. He was very giving. He was very respectable, and he was just a great man. He was great.
Thank you, Dee. Thank you. Thank you, Larry. We have a lot more to talk about with former NYPD Commissioner Ray Kelly right after this.